Question 1. What year was the Battle of Agincourt, and why is it significant in English history? A. 1066. B. 1215. C. 1415. D. 1588. Answer: C. 1415. The Battle of Agincourt is significant because it was a major English victory in the 100 Years' War against France, exemplified by the use of the English longbow. Question 2. Who was the first Plantagenet King of England? A. Henry II. B. Edward III. C. Richard I. D. John. Answer: A. Henry II. Henry II was the first Plantagenet King of England, reigning from 1154 to 1189, known for his role in legal reforms and conflict with Thomas Becket. Question 3. Detail the main cause and outcome of the Peasants' Revolt in 1381. A. Taxation and the reassertion of serfdom. B. Religious disputes. C. A succession crisis. D. Foreign invasion. Answer: A. Taxation and the reassertion of serfdom. The revolt was primarily caused by socio-economic pressures, including harsh taxation and attempts to reassert serfdom, and was ultimately suppressed by the king's forces. Question 4. Name the ship that Sir Francis Drake used to circumnavigate the globe between 1577 to 1580. A. The Mayflower. B. The Golden Hind. C. The Santa Maria. D. The Beagle. Answer: B. The Golden Hind. Sir Francis Drake achieved the second circumnavigation of the globe in this ship, enhancing his reputation and enriching England. Question 5. What was the main religious change implemented by the Act of Supremacy in 1534? A. The establishment of Methodism. B. The separation of the Church of England from the Roman Catholic Church. C. The introduction of Lutheran practices. D. The prohibition of Protestantism. Answer: B. The separation of the Church of England from the Roman Catholic Church. The Act of Supremacy declared King Henry VIII the supreme head of the Church of England, initiating the English Reformation. Question 6. Who were the main participants in the Wars of the Roses, and what were the years it spanned? A. The House of Lancaster and the House of York, 1455 to 1485. B. The Normans and the Saxons, 1066 to 1075. C. The British and the French, 1337 to 1453. D. The Romans and the Britons, 43 to 410. Answer: A. The House of Lancaster and the House of York, 1455 to 1485. This series of dynastic conflicts fought for control of the English throne marked a defining period in English history. Question 7. What event marked the end of Roman rule in Britain in the 5th century? A. The Viking invasions. B. The Battle of Hastings. C. The withdrawal of Roman legions. D. The Norman conquest. Answer: C. The withdrawal of Roman legions. Around 410 AD, the Roman Empire withdrew its legions from Britain, leading to the end of Roman rule and the beginning of the Dark Ages. Question 8. In what year did the Great Fire of London occur, and what were its consequences? A. 1348. B. 1534. C. 1666. D. 1756. Answer: C. 1666. The Great Fire of London destroyed much of the medieval city, leading to widespread rebuilding efforts, including the construction of the new St. Paul's Cathedral. Question 9. Describe the significance of the Glorious Revolution of 1688. A. It restored Catholicism as the state religion. B. It led to the establishment of parliamentary sovereignty over the monarchy. C. It marked the beginning of the British Empire. D. It was the start of the Industrial Revolution. Answer. B. It led to the establishment of parliamentary sovereignty over the monarchy. The Glorious Revolution resulted in the overthrow of King James II in favour of William and Mary, cementing the supremacy of Parliament. Question 10. Who was the British Prime Minister at the start of World War I? A. Winston Churchill. B. Neville Chamberlain. C. Herbert Henry Asquith. D. David Lloyd George. Answer. C. Herbert Henry Asquith. Asquith was Prime Minister when World War I began in 1914, later succeeded by David Lloyd George during the war. Question 11. What treaty concluded the American War of Independence? A. The Treaty of Paris, 1783. B. The Treaty of Versailles. C. The Treaty of Ghent. D. The Magna Carta. Answer. A. The Treaty of Paris, 1783. This treaty ended the Revolutionary War, recognizing American independence from British rule. Question 12. Explain the role of the Commonwealth in post-World War II decolonization. A. A military alliance against the Soviet Union. B. A trade bloc for economic benefits. C. An organization fostering cooperation among newly independent countries. D. A cultural association for preserving British traditions. Answer. C. An organization fostering cooperation among newly independent countries. The Commonwealth played a key role in supporting decolonization and promoting mutual assistance among former British colonies. Question 13. What year was the National Insurance Act passed, and what was its purpose? A. 1800. B. 1911. C. 1948. D. 1965. Answer. B. 1911. The National Insurance Act introduced social security and health insurance schemes for workers, laying the groundwork for the modern welfare state. Question 14. When did the UK decimalize its currency, and what was the system before? A. 1820. The pound was divided into 100 pennies. B. 1969. The pound was divided into shillings and pence. C. 1971. The pound was divided into shillings and pence. D. 2000. The euro was introduced. Answer. C. 1971. The pound was divided into shillings and pence. Decimal Day in 1971 marked the transition to a simpler decimal currency system. Question 15. Name the scientist who first published the theory of evolution by natural selection alongside Charles Darwin. A. Gregor Mendel. B. Alfred Russel Wallace. C. Louis Pasteur. D. James Watson. Answer. B. Alfred Russel Wallace. Wallace's work on natural selection prompted Darwin to publish On the Origin of Species. Question 16. Detail the causes and effects of the Jacobite uprisings. A. Religious freedom. Established the Church of England. B. Taxation without representation. Led to the American Revolution. C. Support for the Stuart monarchy. Ultimately secured the Hanoverian succession. D. Demand for parliamentary reform led to the Reform Act of 1832. Answer C. Support for the Stuart monarchy ultimately secured the Hanoverian succession. The uprisings aimed to restore the Stuart monarchy, but ultimately affirmed Hanoverian rule and the Protestant succession. Question 17. When was the Bank of England established and why? A. 1066, to finance Norman conquests. B. 1215, to manage Magna Carta negotiations. C. 1694, to act as the government's banker and debt manager. D. 1815, to support post-Napoleonic reconstruction. Answer C. 1694, to act as the government's banker and debt manager. The Bank of England was founded to finance war expenditures and manage the national debt. Question 18. What are the Corn Laws and when were they repealed? A. Laws protecting Roman corn, repealed in 43 AD. B. Trade laws with the Cornish, repealed in 1492. C. Tariffs on imported grain, repealed in 1846. D. Agricultural regulations, repealed in 1911. Answer C. Tariffs on imported grain, repealed in 1846. The repeal marked a significant shift towards free trade and had profound economic and social impacts. Question 19. Which king signed the Magna Carta and what was its primary purpose? A. Richard I, to establish the Church of England. B. John, to limit royal authority and protect barons' rights. C. Henry VIII, to authorize the Reformation. D. Edward III, to codify chivalry laws. Answer B. John, to limit royal authority and protect barons' rights. The Magna Carta is a foundational document of English liberties and legal principles. Question 20. Describe the social and economic impacts of the Black Death on medieval England. A. Increased technological innovation. B. Decreased population, higher wages for labourers. C. Introduction of the feudal system. D. Expansion of the British Empire. Answer B. Decreased population, higher wages for labourers. The Black Death led to a significant reduction in the population, which in turn caused labour shortages and improved wages and living conditions for surviving workers. Question 21. Who was the first female Member of Parliament to take a seat and in what year? A. Margaret Thatcher, 1979. B. Nancy Astor, 1919. C. Constance Markievicz, 1918. D. Theresa May, 1997. Answer B. Nancy Astor, 1919. Nancy Astor was the first female Member of Parliament to take a seat in the House of Commons. Question 22. What was Operation Sea Lion during World War II? A. The code name for the Battle of Britain. B. The German plan to invade Britain. C. The British naval blockade of Germany. D. The Allied invasion of Normandy. Answer B. The German plan to invade Britain. Operation Sea Lion was Nazi Germany's planned invasion of the United Kingdom during the Battle of Britain. Question 23. When was the Battle of Britain, and what was its significance? A. 1939. It marked the start of World War II. B. 1940. It was the first major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. C. 1941. It led to the entry of the United States into World War II. D. 1945. It resulted in the defeat of Nazi Germany. Answer B. 1940. It was the first major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. The Battle of Britain was crucial in preventing a German invasion. Question 24. What legislative act led to the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland? A. The Act of Union 1707. B. The Act of Union 1800. C. The Magna Carta 1215. D. The Reform Act 1832. Answer B. The Act of Union 1800. This act joined the Kingdom of Great Britain and the Kingdom of Ireland into a single state. Question 25. Detail the main provisions of the Treaty of Union 1707. A. Established the Bank of England. B. Unified England and Scotland under the Crown of Great Britain. C. Ended the War of the Spanish Succession. D. Abolished the slave trade in the British Empire. Answer B. Unified England and Scotland under the Crown of Great Britain. The Treaty of Union 1707 had profound political and economic implications, including the creation of a single parliament at Westminster. Question 26. Who was known as the Iron Lady and why? A. Queen Elizabeth II, for her long reign. B. Margaret Thatcher, for her strong leadership and conservative policies. C. Mary, Queen of Scots, for her resilience. D. Florence Nightingale, for her pioneering work in nursing. Answer B. Margaret Thatcher, for her strong leadership and conservative policies. Thatcher's nickname reflected her uncompromising politics and leadership style. Question 27. In what year did the suffragettes suspend their campaign for women's votes and why? A. 1914, due to the outbreak of World War I. B. 1928, when women were granted equal voting rights. C. 1945, at the end of World War II. D. 1969, as part of a wider civil rights movement. Answer A. 1914, due to the outbreak of World War I. The suffragettes paused their activities to support the national effort during the war. Question 28. Name the agreement that officially ended the conflict in Northern Ireland in 1998. A. The Anglo-Irish Treaty. B. The Good Friday Agreement. C. The Belfast Agreement. D. Both B and C are correct. Answer D. Both B and C are correct. The Good Friday Agreement, also known as the Belfast Agreement, was pivotal in ending the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Question 29. When did the Scottish Parliament reconvene after 300 years, and what powers does it hold? A. 1707. Complete autonomy from the UK. B. 1999. Devolved powers including education and health. C. 2000. Foreign policy and defence. D. 1807. Control over Scottish churches. Answer B. 1999. Devolved powers including education and health. The establishment of the Scottish Parliament marked a significant step in the devolution of powers within the UK. Question 30. What event triggered the English Civil War? A. The execution of Charles I. B. The imposition of the ship money tax. C. Conflicts between Charles I and Parliament over power and religion. D. The publication of the Magna Carta. Answer C. Conflicts between Charles I and Parliament over power and religion. These tensions ultimately led to the outbreak of war. Question 31. Who was the last monarch of the House of Hanover? A. Queen Victoria. B. King George VI. C. Queen Elizabeth II. D. King Edward VII. Answer: A. Queen Victoria. Her reign marked the end of the House of Hanover, as her descendants belonged to the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, later changed to the House of Windsor. Question 32. Detail the purpose and outcome of the Beveridge Report. A. To propose reforms to the British educational system, led to the Education Act 1944. B. To outline the creation of the National Health Service, resulted in the NHS's establishment in 1948. C. To address social insurance and allied services, laid the foundations for the modern welfare state. D. To investigate the causes of the Great Depression, resulted in significant economic reforms. Answer: C. To address social insurance and allied services, laid the foundations for the modern welfare state. The Beveridge Report was instrumental in shaping post-war social policy. Question 33. What was the main outcome of the Reform Act 1832 regarding the electoral system? A. Extended the franchise to all adult males. B. Abolished the rotten boroughs and redistributed seats. C. Granted voting rights to women. D. Introduced proportional representation. Answer: B. Abolished the rotten boroughs and redistributed seats. This act was a significant step towards the democratization of the British parliamentary system. Question 34. Who discovered penicillin, and what impact did it have on medicine? A. Marie Curie. B. Alexander Fleming. C. Edward Jenner. D. Joseph Lister. Answer: B. Alexander Fleming. The discovery of penicillin revolutionized medicine by introducing the era of antibiotics, which greatly reduced deaths from bacterial infections. Question 35. Name the battle in which Admiral Nelson died and explain its significance. A. The Battle of Waterloo. B. The Battle of Trafalgar. C. The Battle of the Nile. D. The Battle of Britain. Answer: B. The Battle of Trafalgar. Nelson's victory ensured British naval supremacy and prevented Napoleon's invasion of Britain. Question 36. What major political change occurred in Britain in 1997 related to devolution? A. The creation of the Welsh Assembly. B. The establishment of the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Assembly. C. The return of Hong Kong to China. D. The adoption of the euro. Answer: B. The establishment of the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Assembly. These changes marked a significant shift towards decentralizing political power within the UK. Question 37. When and why was the East India Company dissolved? A. 1600, due to bankruptcy. B. 1707, after the Acts of Union. C. 1858, following the Indian Rebellion of 1857. D. 1947, upon India's independence. Answer: C. 1858, following the Indian Rebellion of 1857. The company was dissolved, and its assets were transferred to the British Crown, marking the beginning of direct colonial rule in India. Question 38. Detail the main causes of the South Sea Bubble and its aftermath. A. Exploration ventures led to the expansion of the British Empire. B. Speculation in South Sea Company shares resulted in financial ruin for many investors. C. Trade with China opened new markets for British goods. D. Inflation led to the establishment of the Bank of England. Answer B. Speculation in South Sea Company shares resulted in financial ruin for many investors. The bubble was one of the first major financial crises, highlighting the dangers of speculative investment. Question 39. Who was the British Prime Minister during the Suez Crisis, and what was the outcome? A. Winston Churchill, a military victory for Britain. B. Anthony Eden, political and diplomatic embarrassment for Britain. C. Harold Macmillan, strengthened British influence in the Middle East. D. Clement Attlee, led to the nationalisation of the Suez Canal. Answer B. Anthony Eden, political and diplomatic embarrassment for Britain. The crisis damaged Britain's international standing and accelerated the decline of the British Empire. Question 40. What was the significance of the Windrush generation for British society? A. They were key figures in the establishment of the NHS. B. Their migration marked the beginning of modern British multiculturalism. C. They led the movement for independence in Caribbean colonies. D. They were instrumental in Britain's economic recovery after World War II. Answer B. Their migration marked the beginning of modern British multiculturalism. The arrival of the Empire Windrush in 1948 symbolises the post-war immigration wave that reshaped British society. Question 41. When was the Slavery Abolition Act passed, and what were its terms? A. 1776. Immediate emancipation of all slaves in the British Empire. B. 1807. Abolition of the slave trade in the British Empire. C. 1833. Gradual emancipation of all slaves within the British Empire. D. 1865. Abolition of slavery in the United States. Answer C. 1833. Gradual emancipation of all slaves within the British Empire. The Slavery Abolition Act 1833 marked a pivotal moment in British history, initiating a process that would eventually lead to the emancipation of slaves across the empire. Question 42. Name the series of laws that began the process of Irish Home Rule. A. The Penal Laws. B. The Home Rule Acts. C. The Good Friday Agreement. D. The Anglo-Irish Treaty. Answer B. The Home Rule Acts. The Home Rule Acts were intended to grant Ireland its own parliament and a degree of autonomy, though full implementation was complicated by World War I and the Irish War of Independence. Question 43. Who were the Anglo-Saxons, and from which regions did they originate? A. Invaders from modern-day Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands. B. Celtic tribes from the British Isles. C. Norse warriors from Scandinavia. D. Roman settlers from Italy. Answer A. Invaders from modern-day Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands. The Anglo-Saxons were a group of tribes who settled in Britain from the 5th century onwards, significantly influencing the language, culture, and political structures of England. Question 44. What was the primary result of the Act of Settlement 1701? A. It established the Bank of England. B. It ensured the Protestant succession to the English throne. C. It granted independence to the American colonies. D. It initiated the process of decolonization. Answer B. It ensured the Protestant succession to the English throne. The Act of Settlement 1701 1801 was designed to secure the Protestant succession, excluding Catholics from the throne, which had profound implications for British monarchy. Question 45. Detail the contributions of Alan Turing during World War II. A. He led British forces in the Battle of Britain. B. He developed radar technology. C. He was instrumental in cracking the Enigma code. D. He negotiated the Atlantic Charter. Answer: C. He was instrumental in cracking the Enigma code. Alan Turing's work at Bletchley Park on breaking the German Enigma codes was crucial to the Allied war effort and is considered one of the pivotal achievements in the field of cryptography. Question 46. What was the primary goal of the Chartists movement? A. To restore the monarchy. B. To achieve universal male suffrage and other parliamentary reforms. C. To abolish the House of Lords. D. To secure independence for Ireland. Answer: B. To achieve universal male suffrage and other parliamentary reforms. The Chartists were a working-class movement in the 19th century advocating for greater political rights and reforms, including universal male suffrage. Question 47. Explain the significance of the Battle of Cable Street. A. It was a major naval engagement in World War I. B. It was a protest against the enclosure of common land. C. It saw British forces defeat Napoleon's navy. D. It was a clash between anti-fascist protesters and the British Union of Fascists in 1936. Answer: D. It was a clash between anti-fascist protesters and the British Union of Fascists in 1936. The Battle of Cable Street is remembered as a significant moment in British anti-fascist history, demonstrating widespread public opposition to fascism. Question 48. When was the first UK census conducted and why? A. 1086, to assess the wealth and assets of the kingdom for tax purposes. B. 1801, to gather data on the population and its needs following the Industrial Revolution. C. 1940, to plan for post-war reconstruction. D. 2001, to understand the demographic changes of the late 20th century. Answer: B. 1801, to gather data on the population and its needs following the Industrial Revolution. The first modern census was conducted to assess the population and its distribution, resources and needs. Question 49. What is the significance of the Mary Rose and when was it recovered? A. A Viking ship discovered in 1954, showcasing Norse exploration. B. A Tudor warship that sank in 1545, raised in 1982. C. A Roman galley found in 2009, providing insight into ancient naval technology. D. The flagship of the Spanish Armada, recovered in 1969. Answer: B. A Tudor warship that sank in 1545, raised in 1982. The Mary Rose is significant for its insights into Tudor maritime history and early 16th century life. Question 50. Who was responsible for commissioning the Domesday Book, and what was its purpose? A. Queen Elizabeth I, to catalogue the cultural assets of England. B. King Henry VIII, to assess the wealth of the monasteries. C. William the Conqueror, to assess the extent of the land and resources in his kingdom for taxation. D. Oliver Cromwell, to record the supporters of the monarchy. Answer: C. William the Conqueror, to assess the extent of the land and resources in his kingdom for taxation. Created in 1086, the Domesday Book is a remarkable record of medieval life and is considered the most comprehensive survey of pre-industrial society. Question 51. Detail the origins and outcomes of the Gunpowder Plot. A. A plan by English Catholics to restore a Catholic monarch to the throne. It failed, and Guy Fawkes was executed. B. A military strategy during the English Civil War. It led to a decisive royalist victory. C. An assassination attempt on Queen Elizabeth I. It resulted in stricter laws against Catholics. D. A rebellion against the enclosure of common lands. It was quickly suppressed. Answer. A. A plan by English Catholics to restore a Catholic monarch to the throne. It failed, and Guy Fawkes was executed. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605 aimed to blow up the House of Lords during the state opening of Parliament to kill King James I and restore a Catholic monarch, but was foiled. Question 52. What was the primary function of the Council of the North established in 1484? A. To oversee the Tudor navy. B. To administer northern England and ensure loyalty to the Crown. C. To negotiate trade agreements with Scandinavian countries. D. To defend against Viking invasions. Answer. B. To administer northern England and ensure loyalty to the Crown. Established by Richard III, the Council aimed to strengthen royal authority in the north of England. Question 53. Explain the significance of the Statute of Rhuddlan. A. It granted Wales representation in the English Parliament. B. It annexed Wales to the Crown of England, establishing English law in Wales. C. It established the first Welsh Parliament. D. It was a peace treaty between England and Wales. Answer. B. It annexed Wales to the Crown of England, establishing English law in Wales. The Statute of Rhuddlan in 1284 was a crucial step in the integration of Wales into the English legal system and governance. Question 54. Who were the Levellers, and what did they advocate for? A. A group seeking to level economic inequalities through land redistribution. B. Politicians promoting the abolition of the monarchy. C. A radical political movement during the English Civil War advocating for popular sovereignty, extended suffrage, and equality before the law. D. Architects of the English canal system. Answer. C. A radical political movement during the English Civil War advocating for popular sovereignty, extended suffrage, and equality before the law. The Levellers were influential in the development of democratic ideas in England. Question 55. What event is marked by the celebration of Bonfire Night on November 5th? A. The defeat of the Spanish Armada. B. The coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. C. The signing of the Magna Carta. D. The foiling of the Gunpowder Plot to blow up the Houses of Parliament in 1605. Answer. D. The foiling of the Gunpowder Plot to blow up the Houses of Parliament in 1605. Bonfire Night, or Guy Fawkes Night, commemorates the discovery and thwarting of the Gunpowder Plot. Question 56. Detail the role of Britain in the formation of the United Nations. A. Britain was opposed to the formation of the UN. B. Britain, as a founding member, played a significant role in establishing the UN in 1945 to promote international cooperation and prevent future conflicts. C. Britain joined the UN only after it was established by the United States. D. The UN was formed in London. Answer. B. Britain, as a founding member, played a significant role in establishing the UN in 1945 to promote international cooperation and prevent future conflicts. The UK was instrumental in the UN's creation, reflecting its commitment to international peace and security. Question 57. When was the welfare state established in the UK, and what are its key components? A. 1601, Poor Laws. B. 1948, National Health Service, Social Insurance and Public Assistance. C. 1834, New Poor Law. D. 1979, Privatization of State-Owned Enterprises. Answer: B. 1948, National Health Service, Social Insurance and Public Assistance. Post-World War II, the UK established the welfare state, which aimed to provide cradle-to-grave care for its citizens, fundamentally changing British society. Question 58. What was the main outcome of the Battle of Hastings in 1066? A. It confirmed Viking rule over England. B. It ended the Roman occupation of Britain. C. It resulted in William the Conqueror becoming King of England, changing the country's language, culture, and governance. D. It saw the establishment of the House of Commons. Answer: C. It resulted in William the Conqueror becoming King of England, changing the country's language, culture, and governance. The Battle of Hastings was a pivotal moment in English history, marking the beginning of Norman rule. Question 59. Who was the first woman to be appointed to the House of Lords, and in what year? A. Margaret Thatcher, 1992. B. Stella Rimington, 2001. C. Nancy Astor, 1958. D. Barbara Castle, 1990. Answer: A. Margaret Thatcher, 1992. Although Margaret Thatcher was not the first woman appointed to the House of Lords, this highlights a need for clarity. The first life peeresses were appointed in 1958, following the Life Peerages Act 1958. Thatcher, however, was made a life peer in 1992 after her tenure as Prime Minister. Question 60. Detail the implications of the Anglo-Irish Treaty of 1921. A. It established the Irish Free State as a dominion within the British Empire. B. It united Ireland and Great Britain under a single parliament. C. It led to the immediate and total independence of Ireland from the UK. D. It resulted in the partition of Ireland into northern and southern regions, with the South becoming a fully independent republic. Answer: A. It established the Irish Free State as a dominion within the British Empire. The treaty concluded the Irish War of Independence, leading to the partition of Ireland and establishing the Irish Free State with dominion status. Question 61. When was the Swing Riots uprising and what prompted it? A. 1830. Agricultural workers protested against the use of threshing machines. B. 1910. Urban workers demanded higher wages. C. 1780. Opposition to the East India Company's monopoly. D. 1549. Resistance to the enclosure of common lands. Answer: A. 1830. Agricultural workers protested against the use of threshing machines. The Swing Riots were a widespread uprising by agricultural workers, driven by poverty and unemployment. They sought to destroy the machines that threatened their jobs. Question 62. What led to the creation of the Magna Carta Libertatum in 1215? A. A desire to limit the powers of the Church. B. The need to codify the feudal system. C. King John's military failures and heavy taxation. D. The establishment of the English Parliament. Answer: C. King John's military failures and heavy taxation. The Magna Carta was created as a response to King John's arbitrary rule and heavy taxation, establishing for the first time that the king was subject to the law. Question 63. Who was the first British monarch of the House of Windsor? A. Queen Victoria. B. King George V. C. King Edward VII. D. Queen Elizabeth II. Answer: B. King George V. In 1917, during World War I, George V changed the family name from the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha to the House of Windsor to remove the Germanic elements due to anti-German sentiment. Question 64. What major health crisis affected England in 1665 to 1666, and what were its impacts? A. The Great Plague, a significant reduction in the population. B. The cholera epidemic, led to the establishment of the modern public health system. C. The Spanish flu, worldwide pandemic following World War I. D. The Black Death, dramatically changed the social and economic structure. Answer: A. The Great Plague, a significant reduction in the population. The Great Plague of London was the last major epidemic of the bubonic plague in England, killing a large portion of the population. Question 65. Name the king associated with the Royal Navy's establishment as a permanent institution. A. Henry VIII. B. Edward III. C. Elizabeth I. D. Charles II. Answer: A. Henry VIII. Known as the father of the Royal Navy, Henry VIII invested in the Navy, establishing it as a permanent force and significantly expanding its size and capabilities. Question 66. When did the UK officially join the European Economic Community, and what was a major consequence of this decision? A. 1957, led to the loss of the British Empire. B. 1973, significant economic integration with Europe. C. 1992, adoption of the euro. D. 2007, increased political influence in Europe. Answer: B. 1973, significant economic integration with Europe. Joining the EEC was a major step in the UK's post-war recovery, marking a shift towards European economic and political cooperation. Question 67. Detail the purpose and impact of the Enclosure Acts in England. A. To promote urbanisation, led to the growth of cities. B. To consolidate small landholdings into larger farms, resulted in the displacement of rural populations. C. To establish national parks, conserved natural landscapes. D. To regulate the wool trade, stabilized the economy. Answer: B. To consolidate small landholdings into larger farms, resulted in the displacement of rural populations. The Enclosure Acts transformed the agricultural landscape, contributing to urbanization and the Industrial Revolution by forcing many to move to the cities for work. Question 68. Who were the Picts and what region did they inhabit? A. A Celtic tribe in what is now Scotland. B. Norse settlers in the Shetland Islands. C. Roman soldiers stationed in Hadrian's Wall. D. Anglo-Saxon invaders of eastern England. Answer: A. A Celtic tribe in what is now Scotland. The Picts were a group of late Iron Age and early medieval Celtic people living in what is today eastern and northern Scotland. Question 69. What is the significance of Boudicca's rebellion against the Roman occupation? A. It resulted in the independence of Britain from Rome. B. It was a major victory for the Roman Empire. C. It demonstrated significant resistance to Roman rule in Britain. D. It led to the establishment of Hadrian's Wall. Answer C. It demonstrated significant resistance to Roman rule in Britain. Boudica, queen of the Iceni tribe, led a major uprising against the occupying Roman forces, highlighting the struggles and resistance of native Britons against Roman rule. Question 70. Detail the economic and social impacts of the Industrial Revolution on Britain. A. It led to a decrease in urban populations. B. It resulted in the decline of the British economy. C. It transformed Britain into the world's leading commercial nation. D. It had little impact on British society. Answer. C. It transformed Britain into the world's leading commercial nation. The Industrial Revolution marked a period of major industrialization that changed the country's socio-economic and cultural conditions, leading to urbanization, increased productivity, and significant technological advancements. Question 71. What major legal reform did the Married Women's Property Act 1882 accomplish? A. It allowed married women to inherit property. B. It granted women the right to vote. C. It permitted married women to own and control their own property. D. It established women's rights to education. Answer. C. It permitted married women to own and control their own property. Before this act, any income or property owned by a woman would become her husband's upon marriage. The 1882 Act was a significant step towards gender equality in property rights. Question 72. Explain the significance of the Battle of Trafalgar for the British Empire. A. It was a defeat that led to the loss of the American colonies. B. It secured British naval supremacy for over a century. C. It marked the beginning of the end of the British Empire. D. It resulted in Britain adopting a policy of isolationism. Answer. B. It secured British naval supremacy for over a century. The Battle of Trafalgar in 1805 was a decisive naval victory against Napoleon's fleets, ensuring that Britain remained unchallenged on the seas and contributing to the expansion and security of the British Empire. Question 73. What was the purpose of the Council of Trent, and how did it affect England? A. To address abuses within the Church, led to the English Reformation. B. To reform the Catholic Church, had little direct impact on England, which had already broken with Rome. C. To launch the Crusades, increased religious tensions in England. D. To consolidate the power of the papacy, led to the persecution of Protestants in England. Answer. B. To reform the Catholic Church, had little direct impact on England, which had already broken with Rome. The Council of Trent was part of the Counter-Reformation, aiming to address issues within the Catholic Church and reaffirm doctrines. However, England, under Henry VIII, had already established the Church of England. Question 74. Who was the first monarch crowned in Westminster Abbey and when? A. William the Conqueror, 1066. B. Edward the Confessor, 1042. C. Elizabeth I, 1558. D. Henry VIII, 1509. Answer. A. William the Conqueror, 1066. William the Conqueror was crowned at Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day 1066, marking the beginning of a tradition for the coronation of English and later British monarchs. Question 75. Detail the consequences of the Great Reform Act of 1832 for the British electoral system. A. It introduced proportional representation. B. It significantly increased the electorate and redistributed parliamentary seats more equitably. C. It allowed women to vote. D. It had no significant impact on the electoral system. Answer: B. It significantly increased the electorate and redistributed parliamentary seats more equitably. The Great Reform Act addressed many electoral injustices, such as rotten boroughs, and was a crucial step towards the development of a more democratic electoral system in Britain. Question 76. What led to the formation of the Labour Party, and who was its first leader? A. The need for a political voice for the working class, Keir Hardie. B. Opposition to the Corn Laws, William Gladstone. C. Support for women's suffrage, Emmeline Pankhurst. D. The desire for Irish independence, Eamon de Valera. Answer: A. The need for a political voice for the working class, Keir Hardie. The Labour Party was established in the early 20th century to represent the interests of the working class, with Keir Hardie as one of its founding leaders and its first parliamentary leader. Question 77. When was the Battle of Culloden, and what was its significance? A. 1314. It secured Scottish independence from England. B. 1746. It marked the definitive end to the Jacobite uprisings. C. 1066. It led to Norman conquest of England. D. 1916. It was a turning point in World War I. Answer: B. 1746. It marked the definitive end to the Jacobite uprisings. The Battle of Culloden was the last pitched battle fought on British soil, crushing the Jacobite effort to restore the Stuart monarchy and leading to harsh reprisals against the Scottish Highland culture. Question 78. What were the main causes and outcomes of the English Reformation? A. Disputes over the Pope's authority led to the separation of the Church of England from the Roman Catholic Church. B. Economic disagreements with the Vatican resulted in the dissolution of the monasteries. C. Political alliances with Protestant nations led to the establishment of Protestantism as the state religion. D. Both A and B are correct. Answer: D. Both A and B are correct. The English Reformation was driven by a combination of Henry VIII's desire for an annulment, disputes over the papal authority, and economic motivations, leading to the establishment of the Church of England and significant religious, social, and political changes. Question 79. Detail the origins and significance of the term British Raj. A. The period of direct British rule in India following the Mutiny of 1857. B. The establishment of the East India Company's trading posts in the 17th century. C. The era of Anglo-Saxon rule in Britain. D. The constitutional monarchy established in Britain after the Glorious Revolution. Answer: A. The period of direct British rule in India following the Mutiny of 1857. The British Raj refers to the era of direct British colonial rule over the Indian subcontinent between 1858 and 1947, following the dissolution of the East India Company's rule after the Indian Rebellion of 1857. Question 80. What was the significance of the Crystal Palace exhibition in 1851? A. It was the first World's Fair, showcasing the heights of the Industrial Revolution. B. It marked the beginning of the British Empire's decline. C. It was a military parade celebrating victories in the Napoleonic Wars. D. It celebrated the centennial of the Glorious Revolution. Answer: A. It was the first World's Fair, showcasing the heights of the Industrial Revolution. The Great Exhibition held at the Crystal Palace was a landmark event demonstrating Britain's industrial, cultural, and imperial achievements to the world. Question 81. Who was responsible for the founding of the British Museum, and when was it established? A. Sir Hans Sloane, 1753. B. Queen Elizabeth I, 1588. C. Sir Francis Drake, 1600. D. King George III, 1760. Answer: A. Sir Hans Sloane, 1753. The British Museum was established in 1753, largely based on the collections of Sir Hans Sloane, a physician and scientist. It was the first national public museum in the world. Question 82. Who was the British physicist known for his work on the laws of motion and universal gravitation? A. Stephen Hawking. B. Isaac Newton. C. James Clerk Maxwell. D. Michael Faraday. Answer: B. Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton was a key figure in the scientific revolution, known for formulating the laws of motion and universal gravitation. Question 83. Name the architect who designed St. Paul's Cathedral after the Great Fire of London. A. Inigo Jones. B. Christopher Wren. C. John Nash. D. Giles Gilbert Scott. Answer: B. Christopher Wren. Sir Christopher Wren designed the current St. Paul's Cathedral after the original was destroyed in the Great Fire of London in 1666. Question 84. What event led to the imposition of the poll tax in 1381, and what was the public's response? A. The Black Death, widespread acceptance. B. The 100 Years' War, peaceful protests. C. Economic hardship, the Peasants' Revolt. D. The signing of the Magna Carta, no significant response. Answer: C. Economic hardship, the Peasants' Revolt. The imposition of the poll tax in 1381 was one of the triggers for the Peasants' Revolt, a major uprising against economic and social injustices. Question 85. Detail the impact of the Black Death on England's population and economy. A. It led to a significant population increase and economic boom. B. It caused a sharp decline in population, leading to labour shortages and higher wages for workers. C. It had minimal impact on both population and economy. D. It resulted in the colonization of new territories. Answer: B. It caused a sharp decline in population, leading to labour shortages and higher wages for workers. The Black Death profoundly affected England's social structure, economy, and population dynamics. Question 86. Who was the Prime Minister during the formation of the NHS, and in what year was it founded? A. Winston Churchill, 1945. B. Clement Attlee, 1948. C. Margaret Thatcher, 1979. D. Harold Wilson, 1965. Answer: B. Clement Attlee, 1948. The National Health Service, NHS, was established in 1948 under the leadership of Prime Minister Clement Attlee, marking a significant development in British social welfare. Question 87. What is the significance of the Anglo-Zanzibar War in British colonial history? A. It was the longest war in British history. B. It marked the beginning of the British Empire's decline. C. It was the shortest war in history, highlighting British naval power. D. It resulted in significant territorial gains in Africa. Answer: C. It was the shortest war in history, highlighting British naval power. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896 is notable for its brevity, lasting only about 38 minutes. Question 88. Detail the process and outcome of the Acts of Union between England and Scotland. A. The Acts led to the creation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain in 1707. B. They resulted in Scotland's independence from England. C. They established a federal system within Great Britain. D. They were repealed in the 20th century, leading to devolution. Answer: A. The Acts led to the creation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain in 1707. The Acts of Union merged the English and Scottish parliaments, forming a single sovereign state known as Great Britain. Question 89. Who was the first British monarch of the Tudor dynasty? A. Henry VII. B. Henry VIII. C. Elizabeth I. D. Edward VI. Answer: A. Henry VII. Henry VII became the first Tudor monarch after his victory at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485, ending the Wars of the Roses. Question 90. What was the primary purpose of the Statutes of Westminster, and when were they enacted? A. To expand the British Empire, 1833. B. To establish parliamentary sovereignty, 1689. C. To reform the legal system, 1275, 1285, and 1290. D. To declare independence from Rome, 1534. Answer: C. To reform the legal system, 1275, 1285, and 1290. The Statutes of Westminster were a series of acts that reformed English law and were part of the codification of statutes under Edward I. Question 91. Name the key figures involved in the signing of the Magna Carta. A. King John and the Barons of England. B. Queen Elizabeth I and Sir Francis Drake. C. Henry VIII and Thomas Cromwell. D. Oliver Cromwell and Charles I. Answer: A. King John and the Barons of England. The Magna Carta was sealed by King John of England in 1215, largely due to the demands of rebel barons seeking to limit his powers. Question 92. When was the Royal Society founded, and what is its purpose? A. 1660, to promote scientific knowledge. B. 1534, to oversee the Church of England. C. 1780, to support the arts and culture. D. 1805, to commemorate naval victories. Answer: A. 1660, to promote scientific knowledge. The Royal Society is a fellowship of many of the world's most eminent scientists and is the oldest scientific academy in continuous existence. Question 93. Detail the impact of the Corn Laws on British society and their eventual repeal. A. They stabilised grain prices, benefiting landowners but harming consumers, repealed in 1846 due to public pressure for free trade. B. They encouraged industrial growth, leading to Britain's dominance in manufacturing, repealed in 1865. C. They limited colonial trade, leading to the American Revolution, repealed in 1783. D. They promoted agricultural development in the colonies, repealed in 1900. Answer: A. They stabilised grain prices, benefiting landowners but harming consumers, repealed in 1846 due to public pressure for free trade. The Corn Laws were tariffs and restrictions on imported grain designed to keep grain prices high to favour domestic producers. Question 94. What were the main factors leading to the establishment of the British East India Company? A. The desire for direct trade with India, bypassing Dutch monopolies. B. The need for a governmental body to rule India. C. A response to the American War of Independence. D. The search for new lands to colonize in the East. Answer. A. The desire for direct trade with India, bypassing Dutch monopolies. Founded in 1600, the British East India Company was established to pursue trade with the East Indies, but ended up trading mainly with the Indian subcontinent and China. Question 95. Who was Edward Jenner, and what was his contribution to medicine? A. He developed the first successful smallpox vaccine. B. He discovered the circulation of blood. C. He was the first to use antiseptics in surgery. D. He identified the cause of tuberculosis. Answer. A. He developed the first successful smallpox vaccine. Edward Jenner's work in the late 18th century on cowpox led to the development of the smallpox vaccine, a significant breakthrough in medical science. Question 96. Detail the origins and objectives of the suffragette movement. A. Originated in the 18th century, aimed to improve women's education. B. Originated in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, aimed to secure the right to vote for women. C. Originated in the 17th century, focused on women's property rights. D. Originated in the early 19th century, sought to abolish the slave trade. Answer. B. Originated in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, aimed to secure the right to vote for women. The suffragette movement was a militant campaign for women's suffrage in the UK, characterised by its radical tactics. Question 97. What was the outcome of the Battle of Waterloo, and why is it significant? A. It resulted in a decisive victory for Napoleon. B. It marked the final defeat of Napoleon by the Seventh Coalition, led by Britain and Prussia. C. It led to the start of the Napoleonic Wars. D. It secured American independence from British rule. Answer. B. It marked the final defeat of Napoleon by the Seventh Coalition, led by Britain and Prussia. The Battle of Waterloo in 1815 ended Napoleon's rule as Emperor of the French and marked a turning point in European history. Question 98. Who was the last British monarch of the House of Stuart? A. Queen Anne. B. King James II. C. Queen Victoria. D. King George I. Answer. A. Queen Anne. Queen Anne was the last monarch of the House of Stuart, ruling until her death in 1714, after which the crown passed to the House of Hanover. Question 99. Detail the events and significance of the Peterloo Massacre. A. A protest against the Corn Laws in 1815 led to agricultural reform. B. A rally for parliamentary reform in 1819. Cavalry charged into a crowd, resulting in many deaths and injuries. C. A naval battle in 1805 established British naval supremacy. D. A labour strike in 1842 led to the establishment of trade unions. Answer. B. A rally for parliamentary reform in 1819. Cavalry charged into a crowd, resulting in many deaths and injuries. The Peterloo Massacre became a symbol of the struggle for democratic reform and the fight against political repression in the UK. Question 100. What are the main features of Gothic Revival architecture? And name a famous building designed in this style. A. Classical columns and symmetry, the British Museum. B. Pointed arches, ribbed vaults and flying buttresses, the Houses of Parliament. C. Minimalist lines and glass structures, the Shard. D. Art Deco elements and steel frames, the Empire State Building. Answer: B. Pointed arches, ribbed vaults and flying buttresses, the Houses of Parliament. Gothic Revival architectures sought to revive medieval Gothic architectural styles, and the Houses of Parliament in London are a quintessential example of this style. Question 101. Who was the first female member of the British Royal Society, and in what year was she admitted? A. Rosalind Franklin, 1952. B. Hertha Ayton, 1902. C. Caroline Herschel, 1948. D. Dorothy Hodgkin, 1947. Answer: D. Dorothy Hodgkin, 1947. Dorothy Hodgkin was admitted to the Royal Society in 1947, becoming one of the first women recognized by this prestigious scientific institution. She was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1964 for her work on the structure of important biochemical substances using X-ray crystallography.